Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to RJ's for today's edition of Lunch with Monty Coleman. In the Golden Lions' last outing, they dropped a 70-0 decision to Grambling State at Everett Robinson Stadium in Grambling, Louisiana. This week, UAPB will welcome Mississippi Valley State to Golden Lions Stadium this Saturday, December 5th, November 5th, and a 2:30 p.m. start. Last week, Mississippi Valley had a bye. UAPB currently leads the series 28-18-1. All right, at this time, we ask the players to introduce themselves to the audience. Mr. Duncan.
How you doing? I'm Willie Duncan, senior linebacker from Michigan.
Brandon Duncan, junior quarterback from New York.
All right, Mr. Brandon Duncan, you want to talk about a little about last week's contest against Grambling?
Yeah, last week it was a tough game. We wasn't really able to execute the way we planned on doing it. A lot of plays. I feel like it was a lot of the plays was a good play call, but we just didn't execute, and it led to us getting down by a lot, and we wasn't able to overcome it. So coming into next week's game, we're gonna learn from last week's game, and we're gonna have to try to get us a win.
All right, Mr. Willie Duncan.
Yeah, last week's game was a disappointing loss. A lot of mistakes resulted in a tough loss, actually. Well, we're gonna bounce back and get ready for Valley, and we've been watching film on them, and just get ready to go.
What have you seen on film against Mount Valley?
Valley is a air raid team. They like to pass the ball a lot. They like one-back offense. They got a couple little speed receivers. They have a big target also. And we just gotta get ready with a good game plan, and let's go come through a good week of practice.
All right, Mr. Brandon Duncan, what have you seen on film on Mississippi Valley State?
Speaking on their defense, I feel like they fly around to the ball a lot. They have nothing to lose. They get a lot of interceptions. They cause the quarterback to make a lot of mistakes, and they capitalize on it.
All right, now we'll hear from the top dog himself, head coach Monty Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Ronnie. I want to thank Ms. Nikki again for hosting us here for this press conference. I wish it could have been a better day. It's not a whole lot to say other than we didn't play well against Grambling. Grambling is the #1 team, and we picked the #1 team to play our worst game that I've ever seen us play as Golden Lions. We did get a lot of effort. We've got guys, about 7 guys that's been injured, that we've got replacements that played in that game. But the thing that we don't do, we don't make excuses. Regardless of who we put on the field, we say we're going to go out and we're going to give our best effort. Going into the game, I thought we had a great week of preparation. Actually had some very spirited practices leading up to the Grambling game. Just unfortunately for us, we came out, we were real flat. They got a couple of big plays early, and we played catch up and never could catch up. So that game is behind us. The thing that we do as a team, we come in on Sunday. We'll have a workout on Sunday. We'll watch the film from the previous day. We do it on Sundays, and we say after that film is over, that game is behind us. And the best we can put that game behind us now, the better we'll play against Mississippi Valley. And that's what we're gearing up for right now. Mississippi Valley is a very good football team. Unfortunately for them, they hadn't won any games this year, but they're a very good football team. Coach Coleman and his coaching staff does a great job coaching, and we've got to play our best in order to beat Mississippi Valley, regardless of what their schedule is, what their record is. And that's what we're preparing for. We watched them on film. Just like Mr. Duncan said, Willie Duncan said, they're going to come out, they're going to have a one-back set, they're going to try to throw the football. They're in what we call a 10 personnel offense, and they're going to try to throw the football. And then when they do throw, they're going to keep you honest by running. They got a very good running quarterback. They'll play 2 quarterbacks. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. We played against the left-handed guy last year. He's actually the second guy, or the guy that comes in. And we've got to be ready to stop the quarterback and stop his air raid attack. On defense, they fly around. They play defense just like it's supposed to be played. They are a little banged up on defense, but they're going to play you cover 3, and they're going to play man-to-man. And the thing that we've got to do that we didn't do in the Grambling game, we've got to make plays when opportunities arise. If you remember back to the Grambling game, the first 3 balls that Brendan threw hit some of our key receivers right in the hands and it was dropped. So we can't have those miscues come against Mississippi Valley. We're glad to be off the road, glad to be at home, and should be a good football game.
Coach, let's go back to the Grambling game. Let's talk about Willie Young. This past weekend, he became the school's all-time leading receiver, surpassing Raymond Weber. You want to talk a little bit more about the play of Willie this year?
You know, a lot of people don't realize what Willie has really done. Willie has only played 3 years. He was ineligible a year. So I think he's done a heck of a job. Raymond Weber was one of the guys who caught lots of balls around here, got a chance to go on and play in the pros for a couple of years, and for Willie to accomplish his record or break his record is amazing. So Willie is a guy that we've got to get the ball to. He's a playmaker for us. I think he's one of Brandon's key receivers. He's got great speed. He's got great hands. He knows how to attack the football. And we're hoping that, after this season that Willie can get a call to go and play in the National Football League like some of the others that was before him.
Talk about the play of Mr. Brandon Duncan, Mr. Willie Duncan, the gentleman to your right. He has over 80 tackles this season, and is going in and be his 3rd year where he have reached the 100 mark in tackles.
As coaches, we have a saying that you're going to play like you practice. And I can truly say that Mr. Duncan, Willie Duncan here, who I'm very proud of, he is one of our leaders and the leader of our defense. He plays just like he practiced. He's never moping. He's always enthused. He's always trying to get the players to give a little bit more because that's what he's doing. I've seen this guy cry over losing football games. And that's the kind of guys I'm very proud to coach, people that it means something to. He is a senior, and I'm going to miss him. I'm truly going to miss his athleticism on the field, his students in the classroom, and just his leadership that he brings to our football team. He's a great guy. I remember him coming in as a freshman. We brought him in out of Detroit, and he's been a great player, a great student for us ever since. So what he's doing on the field, I hope he makes the all-conference team again this year, which I think he will deserve it. I think he'll go over the 100 tackles again this year. So he's very positive. I'm glad to have Willie as our middle linebacker. I wish we could have him for a couple more years.
Talk about the play of Mr. Brandon Duncan. He's closing in at 2,000 passing yards this season.
Brandon came in last year. He finished the season against Valley, there in Valley. He won that game. We had a 5-quarterback rotation coming into training camp this year, and it was wide open. It really was wide open that we didn't say because he finished last year that he would be the starting quarterback. We left it as far as competition. Brandon worked hard during the offseason. He was here during the summer. He took the guys out and he threw. And it showed when he got to training camp, because at the end of training camp, the beginning of the season, Brandon was our starting quarterback. Coach White, our offensive coordinator, came to me and said, hey, Brandon has won this position. We should give it to him. And I agreed with him from what he did in training camp. What he's doing right now, I think he had 2 interceptions his last game, but 4 interceptions on the year. He's leading the team as a quarterback. And like you said, he's closing in on 2,000 yards passing, which is a milestone. So Brandon is doing everything that we're asking him to do. He's playing within the system of the offensive coaches, and very, very proud of what he's doing. Brandon came to us a couple of years ago. He was redshirted, and then when he got his opportunity, now the proof is in the pudding as far as the numbers that he's putting up.
Hey, Coach, talk about a little bit about the mental toughness of this team, because right now we're kind of beat up, kind of banged up.
We're not kind of beat up. We are beat up. We're down to our 3rd center on the offensive line. A young man who's got great heart, not He's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of heart. Keithion Smith, he's played and started for us against Grambling. Now, if you look at Keithion, he's not the prototype offensive lineman that most people are going to go after. He is a walk-on. Keithion may be, what, 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", 280, 290, 300, somewhere in that ballpark. And now in this day and time, you're looking for the 6'5s and 6'6s. So he wouldn't be one that you would go out and actually recruit to come and be a part of your team. But the kid's got great heart, and he's given us effort. With our 2 starting centers down, it's by committee now. So he's our starting center. But as far as heart, the guys haven't given up. They're practicing hard. They're competing hard. Like I said, last week I spoke to the athletic director, Mr. Hardy, yesterday, and I told him out of all my years of coaching, that was the worst performance that I've seen of any of UAPB teams. And every now and again, it doesn't matter, in the pros, in college, Division I, SEC, every now and again, teams have bad days. And unfortunately for us, we picked the best team in the league to have our bad day against. But the guys are still practicing hard. When we have our meetings, they're still enthused, and they're trying to salvage the rest of the season. Or we are trying to salvage the rest of the season.
Talk about the play of Shafon Alcorn. He's the team's 3rd leading tackler.
Shafon Alcorn is another example of a guy with a big heart. He's not big in stature. I think he's 5'7", maybe weigh 160 pounds. When we went to training camp, as far as competition, there was a lot of guys that we brought in to play, but he kept shining. He kept shining. And I told the Coach Anderson, I'm saying, we really can't play this guy. He's too small. But he kept shining. He kept making plays. Beginning of the season, he was actually our best cornerback, regardless of his stature, physical stature. And he's playing for us, and he's played well for us. He's gone against some big receivers. Some teams have exploited him because of his height and throw alley-oops to him. But as far as heart, this young man comes to practice every day with the same attitude. He practices hard, and he plays just like he practiced. So I'm very proud of him.
All right, Coach. As we ask this question every week, what are the keys to victory this week?
Nothing's changed, Ronnie. The thing that we've got to do against Valley, and Valley is a very good football team. Like I stated earlier, we can't look at their record and say they're going to play bad. They have absolutely nothing to lose and all to gain to get their first victory. And I'm sure after seeing the film from last week, they're thinking they can come in and they can beat us. But as far as what we've got to do, and that's one of the things that I tell the team all the time, I don't worry about the Valleys or the Gramblings. The only team I worry about is UAPB. The guys are giving me the effort. They are playing hard and practicing hard. Unfortunately for us, we're just not making enough plays. And right now, this late in the season with the injuries that we have, the things that we've got to do is we've got to start fast. We've got to make sure that we don't give up big plays, and we've got to finish. So we put those 3 things: start fast, make big plays, and don't give up big plays, and finish. And I think we'll fare well against Mississippi Valley.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. All right, everyone, let's give Miss Nikki and RJ's a round of applause for hosting us today. Just a reminder, go to Lions fans. This Friday, you can get a preview of your 2016-2017 UAPB men's basketball team as your Golden Lions of the Hardwood take on champion Christian College in exhibition play on Friday, November 4th, in a 7 p.m. start at H.O. Clemens Arena. Also, next home match for your Lady Lions volleyball team will be on Saturday, November 5th, with UAPB taking on Grambling State in a 7:30 p.m. start. So come on out and root your Lady Lions and your Golden Lions out to victory. Once again, want to thank you for having lunch with us. Until we meet again, keep those emails and tweets coming in, and have a wonderful Golden Lion Day.